Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to this week's episode of Maconomics. I'm your host, Ro Mack, and I'm here to try to help you get to a bag. Look, we got a new caller calling. Talk to me, what you got?
What's going on, Ro Mack, man? So check it. I got two little kids, man, and they already bad. I almost don't want to leave none to them, but, I'm trying to be a good father out here in these streets. Just talk to me a little bit about trust funds and, how to set one up and get my little young one situated.
Man, I love the question, but look, we got to change the narrative, right? Because look, ain't nothing wrong with being a trust fund kid. Because look, by definition, what is a trust fund, right? All it is just an estate planning tool used to transfer assets or your property from one party to another, right? You can literally have anything of value in the trust, such as jewelry, cash, investments, real estate, cars, or pretty much anything, right? Look, all it is just a legal arrangement where your assets are held and managed by a trustee for the benefit of one or more of your beneficiaries that you choose. It follows a set of rules that's gonna govern all your wishes for how and when they should transfer the assets to your beneficiaries. Look, for example, right? If I was to pass away now, right? God forbid, but just understand my children are too young to know what to do with the money. So I could actually make it that my trust takes the money and invests it for them and then and only gives it to them after they go to college. So in other words, I can make stipulations to how and when my beneficiaries would actually receive my assets. And another example is take Power, for instance, right? When Ghost passed away, he made sure that his oldest son, Tyreek, wasn't gonna get the bread until he finished college. And you already know, the new season just started. Tyreek's still in college right now trying to get access to his money. And another reason setting up a trust is a good thing is because when you die without a trust, well, your assets tend to go to probate court, which is a very expensive process that the government will take about 1/3 of your assets as a price just to determine how the rest of your assets should be spread out. So let's actually talk about how to set one up, right? You do so by choosing the trust type. You got to determine the purpose that it will serve. So for instance, right, you can have an education trust and there's a spendthrift trust. Now, education trust specifies that their funds must be used to cover academic expenses, and the spendthrift trust limits how beneficiaries can use the funds as well as how they're distributed. Next, you choose the trustee. Now, this is the person that's a fiduciary for the trust fund who actually carries out the person who set up the trust with their best wishes. And then you actually choose the beneficiary. Now, this could be self-explanatory, but this could be your children, your spouse, or whoever else that you decide that you want to leave assets to. Then you got to gather and transfer all your assets. You got to draft the trust documents. Then you got to fund the trust and actually register it. Because look, once your trust fund is real, well, you got to register it for tax purposes. Each trust fund will usually require its own taxpayer identification number for tax returns and financial accounts, among other needs. But look, man, great question. I truly hope this helps. Hey, next caller. Talk to me, what you got?